Once a symbol of strength and pride, Colin Hendry was more than just a defender. He was the heartbeat of Scottish football in the 90s. A warrior on the pitch, a leader by example, the man fans called Braveheart. But behind the thunderous tackles and iconic roar lies a story soaked in personal pain, public tragedy, and heartbreaking loss. This is the untold tragedy of Colin Hendry. Born on December 7th, 1965, in Keith, a small town in northeast Scotland, Colin Hendry's journey wasn't a fairy tale start most players get. He didn't attend a prestigious academy. He wasn't spotted as a prodigy at age 12. In fact, he started his professional career as a striker. Yes, a striker. It wasn't until his time at Blackburn Rovers that he transformed into the hard-as-nails center back that would one day lead his country. And once he made that switch, there was no looking back. Hendry played like every game was war. Fearless, aggressive, commanding, and fans loved him for it. The peak of Hendry's career came in the late 90s. He captained Scotland in the 1998 World Cup, the last time the national team qualified for the tournament until 2022. That opening match against Brazil is etched into memory, not because Scotland won, but because of how they fought. And leading that fight, Colin Hendry, with his blonde hair flying, fists clenched, shouting orders. At club level, he had successful spells at Blackburn, winning the Premier League in 1995, Manchester City, Rangers, and even Bolton. He was respected, feared, and admired. But like all football careers, time caught up. When Hendry retired in the early 2000s, he left behind more than a career. He left behind a purpose. For many footballers, retirement is a cliff. And for Colin Hendry, the fall was steep. He dabbled in management, taking charge of Blackpool. But success never followed him there. Worse still, his personal life was about to shatter in ways no one could have imagined. In 2002, Colin's wife, Denise, went in for a routine liposuction procedure. What followed was a medical disaster. She suffered 10 punctures to her bowel during surgery. An infection spread rapidly. Her body was poisoned from the inside. She was rushed to hospital and placed in a coma. Denise would undergo over 20 operations to survive. She fought bravely for 7 long years, enduring unimaginable pain. But in 2009, her body finally gave up. Denise Hendry passed away at just 43 years old. Colin was crushed. The man who once roared at defenders now stood completely silent, lost. The death of Denise didn't just break Colin's heart. It left him drowning in grief, medical bills, and depression. He admitted to turning to alcohol. There were run-ins with the law. He collapsed publicly on a few occasions, his body now reflecting the pain within. Friends say he tried to keep going for the sake of his children. But the sparkle that once lit up stadiums had vanished. He had lost his wife, his career, his peace. In interviews, Colin Hendry opened up. He spoke about Denise, the grief, the regret, how he blamed himself, how he would have traded his entire career just to have her back. He tried therapy. He appeared at charity matches. But the headlines never focused on his healing, only his downfall. In truth, Colin never wanted sympathy. He wanted understanding. It's easy to forget heroes when they're no longer in the spotlight. But Colin Hendry deserves better. He captained his country with pride. He lifted trophies. He gave fans moments they'll never forget. And though life after football broke him in many ways, it also revealed something deeper. True bravery isn't in tackles or trophies. It's in surviving pain, enduring loss, and still getting up every day. So the next time you hear the name Colin Hendry, don't just think of Braveheart, the footballer. Think of the man, the father, the husband, the fighter who never truly stopped fighting. If this story moved you, please like, comment, and subscribe to keep the memory of football's forgotten warriors alive.